dogs are under what's called a strict liability in the state of Florida. And what does that mean is there's no defense. If your dog bites somebody on your property or gets loose and bites somebody, there's no defense to liability or causation, meaning no defense as to whose fault it is. The big issue in the state of Florida is oftentimes homeowners insurance policy does not cover dog bites. You'll look inside of the homeowners, i.e. the owners of the animals. Do they have a rider or insurance that covers the animal? A lot of times, especially Miami-Dade, South Florida, they do not write insurance for animals anymore because of these dog bites. Well, the state of Florida is passing a new law that's coming down on July 1st. It's House Bill 593, also known as the Pam Rock Act. The act comes from Pamela Rock, who was a mail carrier who was unfortunately mauled to death by 5 pit bulls. What this law said, okay, is, hey, look, we're going to start labeling animals as dangerous dogs. Now, don't think of it as the breed of dog is dangerous. It's whether this dog has had a dangerous attack in the past. If so, that dog then becomes labeled. When that happens, it's now triggering responsibility for the owner. One thing it does is it's going to require the owner to secure at least $100,000 in liability insurance if they want to keep the animal. It's also going to make them microchip the animal. Also talks about, hey, you better be in a secure location. It talks about if the microchip is ever removed, that can be a third-degree felony. They're trying to put responsibility on owners. It's something to protect the victims. It talks about that they don't want these animals being sheltered, the chip being removed, and then another family having a dangerous dog unbeknownst to them. A lot of people will ask, well, was there a criminal prosecution because somebody died? Here, the family pushed very hard for the state attorney's office to look into it. They actually did an investigation, but the state attorney's office chose not to prosecute. And why? Because they actually found evidence through the discovery that the owner of these dogs, which were dangerous in nature, actually tried to surrender them to a shelter multiple times, but called it unsuccessful. A lot of times in the state of Florida, you don't see criminal prosecutions. You see it move into civil litigation, i.e. negligence, compensation for damages. As trial attorneys, we've handled several dog bites, and they can be vicious. The state of Florida provides for what they call a disfigurement claim. A lot of times if a dog gets a child or gets in their face, you're talking about plastic surgery, horrific scarring down the road. Those are the damages that come from something like that. What this is trying to do is to say, if you had notice, you've got to at least have $100,000 worth of insurance. Now, the question is, were the homeowners ever going to do it? Are they ever going to follow up? What is going to be the enforcement aspect of this law? But at the end of the day, great to see that the Florida legislature is trying to do something for this woman and honor her name, Pamela Rock. House Bill 593 is a good step forward for responsibility for dog owners, especially those that have had a tendency in the past to be dangerous.